Welcome, family. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Shannon Jackson, also known as the People's Nurse, your resident host for Living Your Life Without Limits. And you are in for a special treat today because I have a guest with us, Miss Monique Houston, which is a yoga instructor, and she's going to be talking about the benefits of yoga. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
Wake up, everybody. Let's elevate your mind. Live your life without limits. No more wasting time. Don't forget to stay focused while continuing to stay on the grind. Keep your vision real tight. Man, your future be bright until the finish line.
Once again, thank you, family, for joining us today. And also, I want to thank my special guest, Miss Monique Houston, for being with us today. How are you doing, Monique?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you once again for being on Living Your Life Without Limits. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about the benefits of yoga. Just to give you a little bit of a background why this topic is so timely for us today. Living Your Life Without Limits is running a 31-day challenge this month on our Facebook social media page. And it's all about promoting healthy living and emotional and physical wellness. And each day of the week, we're doing a different challenge. And on Monday is Mindfulness Mondays. And Mindfulness Mondays is talking about doing something that kind of helps you mentally or spiritually. And I give examples about meditation, yoga. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect to have her here to help us during this August challenge this month. So thank you once again.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to, for the viewer and listening audience that may not know anything about it or heard a little bit but not really familiar with it, what actually is yoga? So let's start with that, just for people that may be new to the subject matter.
Now, for one, I do agree that it is a perfect timing because yoga is about mindfulness, or one of the elements is about mindfulness. And it's an ancient practice that originated from India many centuries ago. Now, in the Western culture, we see a lot of physical attributes from yoga, but yoga is more than just the asana practice or practicing like the postures or anything like that. Actually, it comes from Ashtanga yoga, which also means 8 limbs of yoga. And that includes the yama, the niyama, asana, which is the posture practice or the physical practice, the pranayama, which is the breathing exercises. So when you're meditating and you're going through deep breathing, that's another element of yoga. And pratyahara, which is you're withdrawing from your outside world, which also helps prepare us for concentration, which is dharana, and dhyana, which is we're meditating when we're sitting still. So not just the stillness from our mind, but from the world. Like we want to channel in with our inner selves. And one thing that I like about it is that it helps not just, physically, but mentally and emotionally. A lot of people think of yoga as like another form of exercise. And yes, you do get physical benefits too. You absolutely do. But it's way more than that. And that's what I want to share today. A lot of people, they kind of get a little, what is the word, like intimidated by it. And when
exactly.
And when you look at some photos, it does look intimidating. I was intimidating. So yoga came to me about 13 years ago. But when it came to me, it was because I was going through a stressful time. I was in school. Trying to earn my master's degree in psychology. And I was stressed out. I had so much stuff going on. And I was looking for different ways holistically of how to help manage that. And that's how yoga was introduced to me. And I was just amazed. And my mind was just like, whoa, it's not just the physical elements that you're getting, so it really helped calm me down. It helped bring a lot of clarity and stillness because, we're always on the go. So we need to calm it down.
So if you were to sum up from a definition perspective, you've already told us the origins of it's from India. How would you describe or define yoga for the novice that's being introduced to it today?
Briefly, I would explain it as a mind, body, and soul or spiritual connection.
Okay.
And that's what it is. It's like when you think of like the triangle, for example, like you have your physical, like the body, you have your mind and the soul. So, and that's what it does. It ties all those three elements together.
Okay.
And one of the books that I want to share from Susanna Barkataki, I believe it's pronounced her last name, she put on here, she mentioned how it helps free yourself. So it's individual freedom and social liberation. And that just stuck with me.
But with saying that, so in freeing yourselves, let's kind of dive into that a little bit more. Let's take the effects. What's the benefits, or how does yoga help you with first, say, the mental side of it? How is that come together where you become more free and more lighter, like you said, releasing that stress, and what does that look like for you to do, or how do you demonstrate that? So maybe you can walk us through practicing yoga for mental, for spiritual, and physical, those three elements of it.
Okay, good. So mentally, it's checking out. So our mind is always on the go. So if you were to compare it to like a computer or like a web, and we have so many tabs up, we have all this information coming at us. We don't get enough time to shut that off unless we sleep. But intentionally checking out and giving yourself a break, that's a part of yoga.
Okay.
So when you're stepping back and you're practicing, for instance, non-attachment, which is a parigraha, that's a part of yoga. That is a part of the yamas, where you're channeling the energy that you're giving out into the world.
So is it basically, so say you're right, everybody's on these phones, we got them on our hips, people go into the bathroom with them, they eat with them, it's just addicting, it's terrible. So just basically, if we said, okay, for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I'm not going to look at the phone. I'm just going to shut down. I'm just going to center myself. That's a form of yoga?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And you can practice yoga every day. It doesn't have to, and you can take it with you off the mat and on. But I try to explain with my clients, you want to, have a balance of both, not just do the physical work. Go outside and connect with nature, like going on walks. Like if you go on a nature walk, and then if it comes to meditation, I know you've mentioned spiritually. So if you're sitting down, you can do this on a chair. Some people meditate during their shower, So if you're just taking that time, closing your eyes and just connecting within yourself, even if it's just for 5 minutes, that's yoga.
And many people wouldn't think that's yoga. Like, I wouldn't think that as yoga. I just think that's just being like deep breathing or just stopping and taking a breath. But it's a form of yoga is what you're saying.
It's a form of yoga.
It's a form
and that's why they
of
have yoga. Yeah, right. So if let's say you start practicing yoga and it becomes a regular thing, you're considered a yogi or a yoga practitioner, because that's something you practice regularly. And we all practice different ways. There's chair yoga. There's yin yoga, there's vinyasa. So there's so many different forms catering to that person. And there's many ways that you can modify it, which is interesting because you don't really see a lot of modifications these days. They're starting to put more information out there because there's, yoga's for everyone. So you are starting to see more representations with people all over the world and from shapes and sizes. But before you didn't see enough of it, the modifications, which we all need them because our bodies are all different.
Everyone's body is different, but also everyone's physical ability is different. And a lot of people have knee problems and back issues, and it's not just their physical weight, but it's their limitations or disabilities. But they want to be more healthier and want to have a level of more balance and more peace. So Can you walk through something, an example of something that someone can do? I love, like you said, in the chair, or something that somebody can do as a form of yoga to bring that balance and bring that healthiness and calmness to their spirits and minds and bodies.
Yes, absolutely. Did you want me to demonstrate?
Yes.
Okay.
We are show and tell station here. We want to see.
Tell.
My family's from St. Louis. It's called the Show Me State. So
St. Louis. Okay.
St. Louis. Shout out to my St. Louis listeners. My mother is from St. Louis, Missouri, the Show Me State.
Hello,
So we want to see. We want to see.
All right, seeing is believing, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to show you two different things. So I'll give you an example. So you know how you'll see someone do like a forward fold. So they're going to inhale, bring their arms up, and then exhale. So that's another thing. You're finding the breath with your movement. So let's say you're going down, and if you can't extend the legs, you can have a slight bend, and that's just as good. So that's one example. But on the chair, same thing. You could sit on the chair, inhale to bring your arms up, and then exhale to hinge forward. That's going to take a lot of pressure if you have issues with your lower back or with your knees and you can't have any like pressure or you can't extend, which is fine. You're still doing it. You're still targeting the muscles and you're still getting that release from your lower back. And that's the whole point. The whole point is to find something that may be challenging for you and then make it in your way. And because yoga is a personal thing too.
So what would you recommend for someone that's a beginner or that's being introduced to it? What's something that could help them develop a rhythm or pattern where it can be beneficial for them?
I'd say start with the 3 days and 30 minutes.
3 days,
start
30
with 3
minutes.
days, 30 minutes, and then it will slowly grow from there. But 3 days is good because you can decide if this is something you want to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or every other day, like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I wouldn't recommend overwhelming yourself like, oh, do it 5 days or 7 days of the whole week. Do it every day. Because that can be a little overwhelming and this is something you want to gradually add onto your routine.
Okay.
You don't want to overwhelm yourself and you're not going to end up enjoying it, you know? So, and then you can mix it up too. Like, let's say, one day you do like a yin yoga and yin is more of a deeper stretch. So let's say you're more so on the tense, like if you feel really tight all over. And as we age, that's what happens. We get more tight, we get less flexible. So oftentimes I will suggest this to clients. I'll have them do yin yoga. But if someone is like an early riser and they have like a pretty mellow day, or maybe they're gonna have a busy day at work, then I want them to do like a vinyasa, and that's like a power flow. So that's the one where you see flow from one pose to the other. Yin is similar, but you're holding poses much longer because we want to get past the fascia of the body. So you want to loosen that up.
Okay. How is that different from just doing regular stretches? Somebody just is stretching, a lot of times when you get ready to do exercises, they'll tell you to do some stretches, right? Just stretch to kind of, so you don't get cramps or kind of lock yourself up before you go and do a run or do an intense workout. How is yoga different from just doing regular stretches?
There is a difference because it's on the intention behind it. Like, for example, a lot of the stretches come from yoga, but you might do something but the intention is not there. You're just, okay, my thigh is tight. I just want to loosen that up. So that's going to feel different from doing a pose and really connecting with it.
So when you're doing the yoga physical part of it, you need to be, what I'm hearing you say, and you clarify for me, you need to be with that intention of your mind, centering yourself.
Yes.
When you're doing this. It's not just a physical pose, but you're bringing your mind in, and are you repeating something or just having a clear thought or seeing yourself in a positive affirmation? What is that mind, spirit, body connection looks like?
It's whatever your intention is that day, and it can always be different. And that's another thing. So, like Ashtanga yoga, for example, they'll have a lot of repetition with their poses, but the intention is always different. Always different. So you may have a stressful day, so the intention that day is let's lessen up the stress. Or one day you might be super excited about something, and the intention might be to calm down. Or, it just really depends on what you feel your body needs, or what your body or your mind needs at that time. So when you're going in from one pose to the other, you're connecting with the pose, but setting the intention so you can take that with you off the mat.
Mm-hmm. So so when you go in to begin to do your yoga, you're going in with a thought of, this is what I want to accomplish. You're setting a goal.
Yes, okay. Absolutely. And I feel like, and it depends on the teacher too, and it also depends on the student and what their goals are, their overall goal. But I feel like when you set the intention or you have a theme, it brings you to a whole nother level, because it's something you don't really do when you're working out, or if you're, like doing like a boot camp or something like that, or something physical. You're not really thinking about that too much. And that's therapeutic in its own separate way, because I am a personal trainer. So I do believe in the benefits of strength training, cardio, and then some type of body modality such as yoga or Pilates. I feel like having all of those elements for everybody, and you can practice one of those. See, that's three right there. So you can do that throughout the week, and that's going to create a balance, and that's what you want. Everyone wants a balance. Everybody's balance is going to be different, but incorporating 3 of those elements is going to help you overall with your health.
So what are some of the success stories that you've seen happen? Obviously, you talked about your own having less stress and or better coping mechanisms to get through a very stressful time with school. And Lord knows we all that have gone to school have had those challenges. But what are some of the success stories outside of just managing stress that you can share, that people can, maybe somebody says, well, I really don't feel like I have a stressful life, but there's other things. What else can you encourage or recommend yoga as a benefit to their health and wellness regimen?
I often hear of the posture. So I've had a few clients of mine tell me their posture has improved a lot. And when you think about it, we're on the computer. A lot of us are working from home a lot. So we're starting to go like this for longer periods. We're sitting down. So really strengthening your back muscles and also creating that confidence has really helped improve people's posture. Weight management. And it's not just the physical, right? But the mindfulness. People are really slowing down, and they're not being so impulsive when it comes to, okay, I'm hungry, I'm going to grab something quick. Right. People are being more mindful about what they're eating, what they're putting into their bodies. So I really like the holistic attributes with yoga, because it allows you to think about those things. And of course, when you're doing something like that, you don't want to, set yourself up for failure and do something backwards from what you just accomplished.
Right.
So it's
right,
okay, I just did this, I want to have some tea. It really allows you to find that zen from within.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us a demonstration in posture, exercise around posture? Because I agree with you that people are being more hunched over, and there's so many problems that's coming from the computers. It's not just with the back. We're seeing more carpal tunnel issues because of more typing and the risk and different things like that. And then there's a lot of ergonomic issues with the stations and the workstations and things. So show us posture and how that can help us with sitting down and doing an exercise. And is this something people can do when they're at work, a few minutes on their break, or at home working, at home even?
Absolutely. And you brought up a good thing about the work at an office and at home, because if you have a wall, you can do this.
Oh, okay.
So one of my favorite ones is the heart opener, and you want to bring your hands as far up as you can, but then allow your chest to go towards the wall. So now when you're doing this, it doesn't have to look like how mine is looking. You can just bring your elbows here and then squeeze your back muscles while bringing your chest as close as you can. Now, in the beginning, it is going to feel hard because, we're used to doing this a lot. So I tell people, go 5 seconds at a time, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and gradually go up from there. And eventually it's going to help open up the chest.
So it's stretching as high as you can onto the wall?
Yep. So going as high as you can on the wall and then stepping back a little bit so you can really bring your chest as close as you can. So, and the same thing on the floor. So you can do that on the wall or the floor. Often for beginners, I have them do this on the wall, especially if you have things going on with your knees, just so there's no pressure on your knees. Okay. So that's one of my favorite ones. But people can also do this. So this one is very similar to doing like the locust pose. Mm-hmm. So when you're doing this, you're squeezing into your back muscles and your triceps. But this is going to help with posture. And all that you're doing, you're just holding it. And if you feel that it's hard, and oftentimes it is, because our bodies are not used to it. And when you think of it, you're not just training the body, but you're training the mind too. So you're training your mind. You're telling your mind, okay, my arms are going back here. So it may feel a little uncomfortable, but just hold it there for a few seconds at a time and then gradually add up the time from there. And those same poses you can do on the floor too. So you might see my weenie dog trying to demonstrate. But if you do the lotus pose or locust pose on the floor, you're gonna lie down. Okay, and then lift up and squeeze in your shoulder blades. And you want to lift your heels up too. So you're lifting up through your heels. That's going to squeeze into your hamstrings and your glutes. And oftentimes we're neglecting what's behind us. We're sitting down a lot. So that's going to help keep your hamstrings and your glutes active, which is what you want to do. You want to keep your muscles as active as you can.
Okay. And do you find that people say that they have more rest after, creating a more routine of doing yoga, that they relax more, or more restful?
Yes. I've heard, and recently I had a client, she gets insomnia from time to time. Recently, her sleep has improved a lot. So we have switched our yoga time from the morning to like the evening. And wonderful. it's been really nice. And she's one of those where she has a stressful job, so I can understand why she would be up late. So it's understandable. But then when you're taking that time for yourself and you're getting that tension, because unfortunately, when we're stressed out, we're holding in the tension all throughout our body. So yoga really helps release that tension. And oftentimes I'll say, just imagine it's melting away. And that's really what it's like. It's like you have some ice here of tension and it's melting away. And you get some really good sleep. You wake up feeling refreshed. Sometimes you wake up and you might still be in the bed like, I don't want to get up off the bed because I slept really good. But that's what it does. I have heard that.
Okay. Excellent. So as we're coming here to final closing on this, what is one thing you want to leave with the listeners and our viewing audience about the benefits of yoga? If you were to just, there were so many great things you talked about today. What is something you want to hone in on for them to take from this and recognize how it could help them? What would that be?
For one, I would want people to know that yoga is for everyone. And regardless if you're doing a certain type of exercise, it's actually really good to cross-train, because yoga is going to help you with recovery. It's going to help bring that balance if you're doing cardio or strength training. It creates that balance physically. And when it comes to your overall health, it's very healing. So I want people to realize too, it's not just about the physical. There's so many elements, so many layers of yoga that can go on and on and on forever. But I do want people to understand that it's more than just what you're doing on the mat, and it's what you're doing off the mat, what you're carrying with you. Because when we create that balance within ourselves, overall, we're going to help with the world.
Absolutely. Us being able to heal and help others starts with us being whole and being healed.
Absolutely.
I really believe that. So before I let you go, I love something that you have on your website, which is the name of your website is Getting My Mojo Back. Where did that come from? I love that.
Thank you. For one, thank you so much, because I've had the website for over 6 years now. And it just started off with I love writing. So writing's my other form of art besides like the body form of art. And Mojo is actually my nickname. I've had that nickname since high school.
Okay.
And in the beginning, I did not like why. I'm like, why do I have this nickname? Like, what's going on? Because it came from, I don't know if you're familiar with Powerpuff Girls, but Powerpuff Girls, they had like this villain on there, and his name was Mojo. And I was just like, you guys see me that way? Like, what's going on? But it's because I've always been known to like do my own thing and try to take over the world, but in a positive way. And my name is Monique, so they just Mojo.
Yeah. So it fits. It has a nice ring to it.
Yeah. So I've always been Mojo, and my friends and some of my clients know me as Mojo, and they're always like, "You're bringing that mojo." So I just came up with the website, gettingmymojoback.com, and it just stuck.
And it does stick, and it's very catchy, so I appreciate that. I thank you again, Miss Monique, for being on the show, and we're going to put up your information so that people can reach out to you. I do know that viewers and listening audience, she does teach yoga via YouTube or on the online, I should say, online. Yep. She teaches via online, as well as probably doing some consultations in person, but you can reach out to her for that. And I am so excited that she enlightened us about the benefits of yoga. This month, as I said, Living Your Life Without Limits is doing a health and wellness challenge, and this fits right into what we're trying to do, which is continue to provide education, information, and motivation to our viewers and listening audience how to live their life without limits and be more healthier, not only mentally, physically, and spiritually as well. So as we're signing off, family, thank you once again for being with us for this very timely subject about the benefits of yoga. And once again, I thank my special guest, Miss Monique Houston, this excellent yoga and also fitness instructor. And please check her out. She has a lot of information, and she can help you how to get your mojo back. And as we're signing off, remember, family, as always, to what? Love yourself. Take care of yourself, because guess what? You are absolutely worth it. Thank you once again for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.